contract that we've had for years. And now it's like, well, you're not allowed to see us do anything bad because remember, we paid you. Goes on, in my December 2nd letter, I highlighted Miss Owens' farmer's ongoing contractual obligation not to make any...
Welcome, guys. Welcome to the 1L Real Talk Show. This is your Sully 1L. How's everyone doing today? Today we're doing another reaction on the lovely lady, Candace Owens chat. You can't get better than this. So today we're doing another reaction with this Turning Point USA. And I don't know, bro. This shit crazy, man. Yeah, I know. This shit crazy. They took out Charlie Kirk because he investigated that there was weird shit going on in his company. He confronts someone, right? Then he goes to the PBD podcast and other podcasts and started speaking about how Israel is destroying the American value, how Israel is destroying the Middle East, and how Israel is demanding that us Americans cannot speak about them, good or bad, because you will get canceled. My opinion, my thoughts on all this, it is true. How do I know this? They did it to me 3 times already. They took my TikTok big channel. They took my YouTube big channel. They took my big Instagram, all for sharing the same thing Candace Owens is doing, but she's doing it better than me. Why? Because I don't have a team behind me. I'm just me. Okay? And the only good thing about having memories or a memory card, look how the camera is recording. You see it blinking? That shit crazy, chat. It's my face right there. All right? All I do, chat, is, right, when I look at a story, I'll Google it, chat GBT it, I'll go down the rabbit hole. Then if I see if it's something bullshit, I don't even bother with it. If I see that something is true, right? You know what, guys? Let me put this out there. Maybe people that are starting to come into YouTube might see it first in my channel before hers or any of these big name YouTubers, right? Shout out to Rogan. I call him the what was that movie? The 4 Suspect or the Suspect, whatever it's called. You unusual suspects, right? Meaning Candace Owens, Joe Rogan, Dave Smith. What's that dude's name? Tucker. I love Tucker. I love who else? Damn. Myron, Andrew Tate, Christian Tate, and of course Nick Fuentes, right? And Jesse on Fire, Van Hala, Big Country, you name them. The people that's only talking about all this. People that really loved and care about Charlie Kirk, right? And it's true. TP USA is acting like Israel. You can't say anything good or bad about them because they'll come after you for asking questions. And what was the last message that Charlie Kirk said? Something was to ever happen to me. Remember this, guys. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. And I'm not depressed. And if something really happened, ask, question, and investigate. And that's all we've been doing. Let's see what Candace is saying here.
Disparaging, false, misleading, or otherwise defamatory comments about Turning Point USA and or its employees, agents, directors, officers, affiliate programs, or services. See speaking agreement, blah, blah. Owens Farmer freely undertook this obligation in exchange for payment by support from and access to Turning Point USA. Her obligation remains in effect for 12 months following the term of her agreements, which were terminated on December 2nd, 2025. Since that letter, Turning Point USA's executives have repeatedly made themselves available via phone, text, and in-person meetings to provide information and documentation. That's just not true. I mean, I'm speaking to one person at Turning Point USA, and we had that sit down. To Ms. Owens Farmer in the hopes that providing her with the truth would get her to stop disparaging Turning Point USA in violation of the parties' contracts. Yet, notwithstanding the reminder that my letter provided to Ms. Owens Farmer of her obligations and the good faith efforts made by Turning Point USA's leadership to answer her many questions, she has continued to make statements in violation of her contractual obligations in a manner that is reckless, knowing, and intentional. For example, she has published a list of lies that she attributes to Turning Point USA, and she has stated that there is definitely financial impropriety at the company. Which lie on our Turning Point USA list of lies did they correct? Nothing. They gave an excuse for the lies, and I told the public about the excuse. They said Andrew went rogue. Andrew did this. I don't know why he said that. I don't know why they said that. They have conflicting answers about the drones. Brian Harpole says this. Andrew Colvett says this. Their lawyer says that. So what am I doing wrong by tracking that? Isn't the issue that you lied not the issue that the public noticed? There's not a single thing that they cleared up that I then said, oh, okay, I just completely had that wrong on our list of lies. They conceded. Erica came out and said, Charlie, I had his phone. He never said the night before that he was afraid he was going to die. She said that on Glenn Beck. They then get in front of me. They say, okay, yeah, no, he did. I didn't know because it was in a special, app. Yeah, he also messaged Dan Flood. I didn't know because we're not talking to Dan Flood. Okay. What am I missing here? This next sentence sends me. She has claimed to know that there are people at Turning Point USA who are not good people and has suggested that Turning Point USA and TPUSA Faith have been infiltrated by military operatives. Yes, I do know there are people at Turning Point USA who are not good people. Yep. I stand by that. It's the truth.
It is the truth.
I specifically said Tyler Boyer was a sexual deviant. I stand by that. It's the truth.
And a lot of those pastors working over there at TPUSA, when you start going down the rabbit hole of what they used to do before working at TPUSA, a lot of these people came out of jail. For what, you probably ask, right? Versace, what do you mean they went to jail? Yeah. For having sex with minors. Okay? Having sex with minors. Some of them got vape charges because, we can't use the R word here. So I like to switch it up. A lot of them. And the McCoys are always defending these people. Rob McCoy, the father, whatever. Another weirdo. A fake pastor. The dude came out of nowhere. He's a pastor now. Really? I'm about to be a pastor then.
Turning Point USA Faith, the military. I'm sorry I looked up these people. I'm sorry that Rob McCoy is out there defending somebody who went to prison for molesting kids.
You see?
The issue is I noticed, again.
And if you guys notice, I'm watching this with you guys. Look.
Let's see if we're going to get to it. Moreover, it continues. She has accused.
And for those that are new to the channel, welcome. I'm deeply happy you guys tuned in. And like I always say this in all my videos. If I'm doing a reaction on whatever person, I always tell my followers, make sure you guys go check Candace Owen out, subscribe to the channel, go buy the merch. And no, I have no affiliation with none of these people I mentioned. I don't even think some of them might know me because I've been following them for a while. And I know they'll be liking what I write in their comments when they're live or not live or when they post. So I know some of them follow me. But my dream is to one day get paid like them. Right? I know I got to create more videos, better videos than these. The thing is, Chad, I'm by myself. I don't have a team of investigators. Because I would like to, like Nick Shirley, I would like to sit down with him. Why? Because I would like to go work for him and investigate all these fraud and all over America, right? But I don't have a team. I'm by myself, guys, and I got you guys. The typical 100 subscribers, like I always say, the 100 loyal subscribers that I have, they're always here,
A Turning Point USA employee of being intentionally evasive in an effort to clear Erica Kirk's name, specifically as to whether Ms. Kirk was at Fort Huachuca in or around an alleged secret meeting that Ms. Owens Farmer has linked to Charlie Kirk's assassination. No, I told the truth. I said that I requested this multiple times over weeks, and each time I was given an excuse. That's just the truth. I was told
And not only that, but didn't it came out that the day Charlie got hit, PBD Podcast, Fox News, everybody was saying that she was there and that her daughter, when she heard the shot, she said, "My dad." This is what turned down the volume on people investigating really Charlie Kirk's death. When it started coming out that Charlie's daughter heard the shot and she tried to run to her dad. And that was the biggest story, chat, right? And a lot of this shit don't make sense, And the way Erica Kirk has been acting like a slutty whore, in a sense that I never hear her talk about Charlie Kirk's parents, mother, dad, sister, brother, sending out my condolences to my parent-in-laws. Nothing. She's always promoting books of her life, not Charlie Kirk. Now she's 10, 11 months pregnant. How? And then she brought back her ex-husband to take over Charlie Kirk's spot. Come on, bro. If your husband died, this goes out to all the female that's watching this right now. If your husband died, right, and I'm not talking about a man you met last year, no. A man that you've been together for 5 years. You gave him 2 kids, allegedly. Sometimes I don't think those are Charlie Kirk's kids either. I think. I could be wrong. I'm assuming. Are you going to act the way Erica Kirk is acting, or are you going to act like a real wife that lost her husband? You're going to want his followers to really keep investigating this, because it makes no sense. They remind me of the JFK assassination. That's why everybody thinks it's an inside job, because all these excuses, the FBI touching stuff with no gloves, the FBI making up stories when they're not true. Shout out to Candace Owen for that.
really busy. And then she popped up at a game, and I said, hey, can I get something? And they sent me something that wasn't what I asked for. So that's just the truth. And then said that it was on me last week because I had my son's birthday and family in town that I was going to send you a screen record of what I actually wanted. And I said, maybe it's because there's a third party there. It's not clear. But to date, they haven't sent me what I asked for. So I told the truth. In short, Ms. Owens-Farmers has not put an end to what she has expressly admitted to be a flood of allegations against people at Turning Point USA, people at Turning Point Action, and people who work for the Charlie Kirk show. Yeah, I'm sorry, Andrew Cole, that sucks. My December 2nd letter, it continues, emphasize that Ms. Owens-Farmer must cease her disparaging comments. And this letter reiterates that obligation that includes, in part, ceasing to
like
state
Adam
or imply
from the
that
PBD
Turning Point
podcast
USA
wrote
and or
this
its
letter.
employees, agents,
Always
directors,
defending
officers,
Israel.
affiliates,
No matter what they do
programs
wrong,
or services
he's always
played
defending
any part in Mr. Kirk's assassination. Ms. Owens-Farmer must not state or imply that Turning Point USA and or its employees, agents, directors, officers, affiliates, programs, or services knew about the assassination beforehand, participated in the assassination day of, or covered up the truth.
It's true.
About the assassination after the fact.
It's true.
Okay. That's it. That's the guts of the letter. Now, I've been very clear that...
So ask yourself this. Charlie Kirk dies. Erica Kirk got hundreds of millions of dollars, life insurance. Took over a multi-billion-dollar company, $100 million company, became the CEO overnight. Nobody ever seen her in the office. They didn't even know Charlie Kirk had a wife. All right? A lot of these people. Pops up, takes over, brings the people that Charlie Kirk hated the most and spoke very badly about. No, you can become a member now. Don't worry, he's dead. Now I'm in control. Your family be vaping kids? And your boyfriend too? Nicki Minaj? Oh, shit, really? You can come up. So, if you're out here vaping, you guys know what word I'm talking about because I can't use the R. You might get a job at TPUSA. If you're a weirdo and like minors, like super minor, I'm talking about like Little kids. I'm not talking about 17, 18. You're a woman already. I'm talking about 6-year-old, 8-year-old, anything over 15 and like, let's say 17 down, you're a weirdo. And that's what they're into.
There's only one reason, again, kill me for having common sense, that people lie. Why do people lie? Because they're covering something up. There's no other reason to lie, actually. I mean, you could be pathological, I suppose. You could just do it for funsies. But when you consistently tell lies, it's usually because you're covering up something. Even if it's a small lie, my kid tells a little fib, it's because they're covering up something that they don't want you to find out, right? So because Turning Point USA is lying, it is a totally fair and reasonable assessment.
My bad, guys. Commercials,
Eve
man.
Online
I can't
is a-
afford YouTube
That
Prime.
they made. Are they trying to protect the organization because they know there are some bad eggs? Loyalty to one another because they knew each other, going back a decade. Blackmail again. Who know? I can't tell you why, but I can say that when people lie, it's because they're engaged in a cover up, and that is something I'm going to stick by. An opinion I'm going to stick by, actually. So now, regarding the broader point about financial impropriety, which being financially, improper is not a crime, right? If you have a charity and actually only 1 cent out of $1 actually goes to what you say it's going to go to, it's not illegal, right? I'm not saying that's the case. Turning Point USA, we've barely covered their finances, actually, but I think that what they want is your money. So I'll make amends. Everybody watching, give all of your money to Turning Point USA. They are amazing. They are above board. They do nothing wrong. They're not focused on money. They just want yours. If you are watching this, please, if you have a 401k, consider giving that to Turning Point USA. If you're watching this, please, if you're saving up to take your kids to a theme park, instead think about parking that money with Stacey Sheridan and Tyler Boyer and Erica Kirk at Turning Point USA. If you've got a grandma and
This
she's
is
frail
why
and she's
I
sick,
unsubscribed to everything. This is why I burnt the shirt. I burnt the hat. I don't want nothing to do with TPUSA. They were the ones that took out Charlie Kirk, and nobody's gonna take that from us. It's not sharing hate speech because it's not YouTube. I'm speaking facts. Okay. Yeah. You and God don't like ugly, man. God don't like ugly. And Candace Owen is not by herself. She got a bunch of us here that if God forbid something happens to her, we're going to go even super harder. Super duper harder. And we're going to hit TPUSA where it hurts them the most, the money part. So, what are your thoughts on all this, chat? Let me know in the comments. Go finish watching the Candace Owen Show on YouTube. Go watch the full interview. It's about an hour, 2 hours long, and she's spitting facts with 110% receipts on hand. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.